In one of the most brutal fights of his career, this Mike Tyson knockout left the audience completely shocked. At the height of his career, Mike Tyson earned the title of the most dangerous man on the planet. And for good reason. In the ring, he was like a relentless storm, exploding with speed and power. His lightning-fast punches decimated opponents, transforming every bout into a spectacle. Tyson's jaw-dropping knockouts left audiences in awe, captivated by his raw talent. Without flinching, he sent the era's top heavyweights crashing to the canvas, watching them crumble at his feet. But before he became the legendary Iron Mike, Tyson had to overcome numerous hurdles. How did a small-time thief from Brooklyn rise to become the most feared knockout artist and one of the highest-paid athletes in boxing history? Mike Tyson's early years were marked by hardship. Born in June 1966 in New York City, he was raised in one of its most crime-ridden neighborhoods. His mother, Lorna Mae Smith, worked as a prostitute, and Mike viewed his father as little more than her pimp. The hostile environment inevitably shaped him. By the age of 10, Mike was already part of a street gang, engaging in petty crimes and frequently finding himself in juvenile detention centers. It was in one of these facilities that he encountered Muhammad Ali, who had come to speak with troubled youth. This pivotal meeting ignited Mike's dream of becoming a boxer. At 12 years old, he found himself enrolled in the Tron School, a specialized institution for troubled youth in upstate New York. It was within those walls that he crossed paths with Bobby Stewart, a former U.S. light heavyweight champion. Stewart saw potential in the young Mike and agreed to train him. 2 years later, in a spirited sparring session, Tyson came close to besting his mentor. Recognizing Mike's raw talent, Stewart introduced him to legendary trainer and manager Cus D'Amato, who was so impressed that he immediately took the young fighter under his wing. After Tyson's mother passed away, Cus and his wife stepped in and adopted their star pupil. From that point forward, Tyson referred to D'Amato as his true father. It made sense. Cus had done more for him than anyone else. He molded Tyson's unique boxing style, and within a few short years, Tyson rose to become the world's top heavyweight. D'Amato didn't stop there. He built a skilled team around Mike, carefully chose elite sparring partners, and even curated a library of fight footage from which Tyson absorbed invaluable lessons. Before stepping into the spotlight of the pro ring, Mike honed his craft in the amateur circuit for 3 years, even claiming a silver medal at the Youth Olympic Games. At just 18, under the guidance of Cus D'Amato, the decision was made. It was time for Mike to embark on a grand journey. As Tyson entered the professional arena, he didn't just participate, he exploded into the global scene. His lightning-fast knockouts and ferocious, unrelenting style turned him into an instant sensation. But words only go so far. Now, let's witness Iron Mike's greatest knockouts. Ready? One of Mike Tyson's standout early bouts was his July 1986 clash with Marvis Frazier, the son of legendary boxer Joe Frazier. At the time, Tyson was a rising force in the heavyweight division, having skyrocketed to prominence in just a year, amassing 23 knockouts with astonishing speed. Marvis Frazier, a formidable contender, was seen as one of the few challengers worthy of facing Iron Mike. With notable victories over fighters like Joe Bugner, Jose Ribalta, and James Smith, Frazier had established himself among the elite, with his sole blemish being a loss to Larry Holmes. Unlike Marvis, Tyson was a pure knockout machine, never one to drag out a fight. As soon as the bell rang, he charged, driving his opponent back to the ropes with a relentless barrage of punches.
Rounds wind up even, and the 3 knockdown rule is in effect.
Frazier struggled to dodge and counter, but within seconds, Tyson had him cornered. Just 30 seconds in, Tyson launched his signature left hook, followed by a brutal right uppercut. Marvis crumpled to the canvas.
Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt!
But Tyson only stopped once his opponent was completely unconscious.
Just clipped him right on the chin. The left was unnecessary. Marvis is badly hurt at this point. Uppercut again, and there Marvis is out on his feet. Everything after this.
securing the fastest victory of his career. The November 1986 clash with Trevor Berbick undeniably holds a special place in Mike Tyson's legacy. Berbick, 10 years older and vastly more experienced than the young Tyson, had recently claimed the WBC heavyweight title in February and was widely regarded as one of the sport's elite. Adding to his stature, Berbick was famously the last man to face Muhammad Ali, securing a unanimous decision victory over the legendary fighter. But Tyson, just 20 years old, possessed a fiery temperament and unbreakable confidence, prepared to topple the reigning champion from his throne. It was Iron Mike's first shot at the championship belt, and there was no way he was going to let it slip through his fingers. True to form, Mike opened the fight with his signature aggressive style.
Let's see how long his reign lasts. Mike Tyson kind of feeling him out here, but he goes with that right-hand lead right away.
Immediately throwing himself into a furious exchange of punches. He began dictating the pace, forcing his opponent to play by his rules. However, after absorbing a few solid blows, Tyson changed his strategy, closing in and clinching Mike repeatedly, shifting to a more defensive approach.
Put it right in front of him, and he's going to get clipped. Believe me, folks, he's going down.
With just 20 seconds left in the first round, Mike unleashed a devastating left hook that sent Trevor staggering across the ring.
The left hook is Berbick, and Tyson clips him with the left hand. Look at this combination, and Berbick ready to go. But
Miraculously, the champion remained on his feet and survived until the bell rang. Tyson stormed into the second round, delivering a blistering right overhook after a brief pause to assess his target. He followed up with a series of dynamic hooks, culminating in a powerful right hook that sent Berbick crashing to the canvas.
Tyson goes to work right away, and he's got Trevor in trouble, and he's down. He'll have to take the stand.
The champion scrambled back to his feet, but his recovery was short-lived. Less than 2 minutes later, Tyson struck again, this time with a devastating combination. A fierce right uppercut paired with a thunderous left hook, sealing Berbick's fate once more. Trevor clung desperately to his opponent, struggling to maintain his balance. In an instant, he found himself sliding to the canvas, the weight of defeat crashing down on him.
Bangs the body. Wow, with that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with a right left hook, and he goes down. He goes down. He should be able to get up from this.
The reigning champion couldn't fathom how he had lost his title during his very first defense.
He's got the heart, but his body won't let him do what his mind wants to. And he's
Meanwhile, Iron Mike struck gold that night, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history. A remarkable feat accomplished just a year and a half into his professional journey. In January 1988, the legendary Larry Holmes stepped into the ring to face one of boxing's rising stars, Mike Tyson. At that point, Tyson had already claimed 3 championship belts, WBC, WBA, and IBF, defending his title as the world's premier heavyweight. Holmes, a seasoned veteran of the sport, was not only twice Tyson's age, but also had a wealth of experience under his belt. Despite having recently announced his retirement following 2 decision losses, the allure of fighting for 3 titles was too enticing to resist. Leading up to their match, Holmes launched a fierce smear campaign against Tyson, hurling insults at the champion during a press conference and predicting that Tyson would end up in jail. However, rather than intimidating Iron Mike, these provocations only fueled his rage, setting the stage for a memorable showdown. As the rivals finally stepped into the ring, Larry braced himself for the full force of the champion's fury. From the opening seconds, Tyson showcased his dominance.
actually both of them were. There he is, Larry Holmes in white, and Mike bangs for the body.
Launching a flurry of swift attacks that left Holmes bewildered.
He was champion. Now the young guy is chasing him down.
The champion pursued him relentlessly, resembling a young boy in a spirited chase, while Larry focused solely on defense, trying to shield himself from Mike's thunderous blows.
He never has received the credit, but he was a great...
In the second round, Tyson maintained his relentless assault, landing punches squarely on Holmes's jaw despite their height difference.
Again, I'm Bob Sheridan, and again, I hope you're enjoying it. Because in spite of the fact...
The veteran's long reach did little to deter Tyson, who expertly closed the gap with rapid combinations of hooks and uppercuts. By the end of the round, Mike had Larry pinned against the ropes.
Boxing, and it's about money, and that's why Larry's fighting. Fortunately for Larry in his career, he's never been hurt, and I hope he doesn't get hurt tonight. There's the bell, ending round.
Pouring relentless aggression into every punch he threw. The third round did nothing to alter Tyson's strategy. He relentlessly pursued Larry around the ring.
Larry Holmes. Notice how flat-footed he is, and you remember when he used to
It was clear that Larry was visibly intimidated by the young and fierce Mike, and for good reason. After the break, however, Larry unexpectedly grew bolder, launching long-range jabs at Tyson with newfound confidence.
And he goes back to settling down, back on his heels. Mike moves the body, moves the head side to side.
But Tyson sensed the moment had arrived. He waited for the perfect opportunity and unleashed a blistering combination of a left uppercut followed by a right hook, sending Larry crashing to the canvas.
Larry gets nailed with the left hand, the right hand, digs to the body, goes to throw a right hand, gets clipped with a big right hand. He won't get up from this one. It's all over.
Holmes scrambled to his feet, still in shock from the first blow, but another right hook quickly sent him down for the second time. Maybe Larry shouldn't have risen for a second time. He was bracing himself for yet another punishing blow. In the final knockout, Mike triumphed over the ring legend, delivering his first ever knockout defeat. This victory was a form of retribution for all the taunts he had endured, reminiscent of the moment when one of the UK's finest heavyweights, Frank Bruno, succumbed to Tyson's iron fist in February 1989. Mike was in the midst of a divorce from his first wife, actress Robin Givens, which left him unable to fully prepare for the upcoming fight. Yet, his natural talent and years of honed skills kicked in as soon as the bell rang. Within the first 10 seconds, he launched a flurry of punches, landing a dozen precise hits that sent Frank to the canvas.
And Tyson starts with a fury, and Bruno tries to punch back. Bruno down.
However, Frank quickly learned from this early onslaught and adjusted his strategy, beginning to close the distance and unleash powerful punches at close range. Constantly engaging in clinches, Bruno seemed to gain momentum by the end of the first round.
There's that puncher's chance I had talked about.
Doing his best to contain his opponent's fierce aggression. Yet, in the final moments of the second round, Mike managed to pin him against the ropes, forcing Britain to endure a flurry of powerful punches.
Effective with it. Right hand by Tyson landed flush on the jaw. Bruno in trouble again.
The third and fourth rounds were tense. Mike aimed to strike, but after every punch or combination, Frank would clinch tightly. However, Tyson's explosive nature was inevitable. It always surfaced, and this fight was no exception.
Uppercut, right hand, Bruno's in serious trouble.
A minute before the fifth round ended, Mike finally pierced through his opponent's defense, unleashing a barrage of powerful hooks and uppercuts. Each strike made Frank flinch as he attempted to tie Tyson up in a clinch, but he found only brief moments of respite before the assault resumed. With just 10 seconds left in the round, Bruno, trapped against the ropes and barely conscious, was subjected to a relentless barrage from the champion.
That bolo shot, beautiful
Richard
shot.
Steele has seen enough as Terry Lawless throws in the towel simultaneously.
It was then that Bruno's corner threw in the towel, a conclusion that felt inevitable as Iron Mike entered the ring. Yet, Frank Bruno will forever be remembered in boxing history as the fighter who managed to withstand Tyson for 5 grueling rounds. The fight against Buster Mathis Jr. marked Mike Tyson's second bout since returning to professional boxing after his prison sentence. While his previous opponent, Peter McNeely, had been disqualified, it was this match with Mathis that would usher in a new chapter for Tyson. 3 years behind bars left an indelible mark on Mike, prompting him to tweak his fighting style upon resuming training. Opponents who remembered the Tyson of the 80s were in for a shock. He was more aggressive, with enhanced punching power. When the bell rang, young Buster charged at Mike, eager to engage at close range.
Here we go, and Mathis just falling down
He quickly pushed Tyson against the ropes, unleashing a flurry of body shots. Tyson, however, adeptly tied up Buster's hands and launched counterattacks, though not every punch found its mark. At the end of the round, Mike finally caught Mathis's rhythm, beginning to anticipate his opponent's moves. It was clear that the second round promised to be even more exhilarating. Mike seized control of the fight, launching a series of attacks, his signature uppercut aimed persistently at Buster's jaw. In the third segment, Tyson found the perfect moment to showcase his skills. After another close quarters exchange, he landed a solid blow to Buster's jaw. But he didn't stop there. A second uppercut followed, then a third, his right hand hammering away and crushing his opponent's last hopes.
Use that right foot and pivot. Swing around on your opponent's side and then crack.
Oh, he got a right uppercut, another right uppercut, and down goes Mathis.
Mathis hits the canvas, hesitating to rise as the referee counts to 10. This moment marked Iron Mike's triumphant return. The fight against Fonsua Botha was pivotal for Tyson, serving as a comeback after the notorious ear-biting incident with Evander Holyfield, which led to the loss of his boxing license. Nearly 2 years had passed since Tyson last stepped into the ring,